Hey guys, my name is Ethan, this is Carberra, and welcome to the series where I teach you how to manipulate images in Python. Now that we've got all the installing out of the way and you know how to load and save images, we can now start manipulating them. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to scale and rotate them. Of course, if you find the video helpful at any point, then don't forget to hit the like button to let me know, and consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you don't miss out on future installments in the series. But with all out of the way, let's get into it. For rotating and scaling images, the imports really are the same. So we can just do from pill import image once again. And then we can do our if name equals main. Oh god, I can never type this properly, can I? And then we can open our image here. So we're gonna do the fox one again. Images slash autumn fox.jpg as im, and now this is where things start changing up a little bit. Well, actually, we'll have a save here for saved images and then modified autumn fox dots. I don't know. We'll have this one on JPG. Why not? But in here, we are going to start doing some other stuff. So rotating images is actually quite simple. So what we need to do is do im equals im.rotate, and then pass in the number of degrees you want to rotate it by. So in this case, I'm going to do 45. So this method does not rotate the image in place. Now what I mean by that is that it does not update the state of the image. It actually returns a new image. So we have the old image. So we could call this image 2. For example, if we wanted to, and then we would still have the original image, and then we will have the. Actually, no, I'm actually going to do that. So we're going to have rotated image equals im.rotate 45, and then im stays the same, and then we have the rotated image as well. So we can actually do rotated im.save, and then we'll say rotated autumnfox.py. Load up the terminal, Python tutorials 2. And then we have this rotated autumn fox here. So you may notice something is a bit weird with this, in that we have all this black around it. We can't really avoid that, but we also have this crop. Like the image is cropped quite heavily. It's actually cut off a lot, and that's because the canvas size has not changed. So the canvas size is still, as you can see down here, 1920 by 1200. However, the image is actually bigger than that because it's now at an angle. However, we can offset that by using the expand equals true keyword argument. And when we do that, we can actually get the image to scale. So as you can see, it's now 2208 by 2208. And the image, the canvas size has been increased, or it's been scaled up to actually be able to accommodate all of the actual image, because it now takes up a bigger area. So that's what the expand keyword does. Obviously, when you're putting something on top of another image, you perhaps don't want to do this, but if you're just rotating a single image, then maybe you do. It kind of just depends really on what you're trying to do there. So scaling images is a little weirder to an extent, but I'll show you what I mean. So we have scaled image, we'll have one, and we'll have a second of these. And we can do im.resize. So don't forget, this is affecting the original image now, not the rotated one. And what we can do in here is we can pass a tuple of dimensions. So for example, 2000 by 300. And then we can go, if I just like grab this, scaled image 1.saved/saved images. Whoops, it is a dash, not a underscore. And we can have scaled autumnfox.jpg. .jpg, not jog. Bring up the terminal, run the thing again, and we have this new scaled autumn fox. And as you can see, we have one very long boy there. And if we say swap them around, and run that again, I'm actually just gonna make this a bit smaller because we don't need all that. As you can see, we have a very slim boy. I'm gonna reset it to what it was just to make that a little bit nicer for people in the GitHub repo. We can also scale by a factor. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to define a function up here because it's easy to do like this. And we could do scale by factor. And we're going to take an image and we're going to take a factor. So basically what I mean by this is so we can make an image twice the size, or half the size, or 3/4 the size, or 25 times the size. Essentially, it will scale the image by a unified factor, so it will keep its aspect ratio, but we are just essentially adding a multiplier to its size, is what we're doing there. And then we're going to return our... Well, actually, we're just going to return it. It's just going to be a single line. And it's going to be im.resize. And then in our tuple, we're going to put round. You can put in it if you want, but I think round just makes more sense. And we're going to put base, not base, im.width times factor. And then we're also going to have round im.height, if I can spell, times factor. So what we're doing here is we're multiplying the width by the scale factor, and then multiplying the height by the scale factor, and then passing these into the resize function in the same way that we did here. So the only difference is here we're passing in absolute values, and in here we're passing in values that we actually calculate, which is why I'm doing it as a function, because writing this is far easier than writing all this. So what we can do is scaled image2 equals image, no it's not, equals scale by factor this time, and then we pass the image in and then pass the factor, so for example 2. And then we can do scaled image2 dot save dot slash saved images. I'm starting to regret calling this folder this now, but whatever, it's fine. And then we can call this scaled autumn fox 2 or something .jpg. If we go to terminal now and run that, it's now going to save quite a number of images, but I believe this one is the right one. Here it is. So as you can see, it looks about the same, but the resolution's gone up. So the original image, if I find that real quick, was 1920 by 1200. The new image is 3840 by 2400. So as you can see, it's actually doubled the size. If I were to then put in 0.5, it would be smaller, so 960 by 600, and you start to get the idea. So you can put any number in here, any number that is greater than 0. If you put in a 0 here, it's going to come up with an error. Theoretically, you could check that up here. So say if factor is less than 0, do whatever. I'm not going to... Well, I suppose we will do that. Why not? If factor is less than 0... what am I doing in a wait? Return... Or I could just do print. I suppose potentially what you'd really want to do, if you really want to get fancy, was like create an error. So class invalid factor exception. This was not part of the plan, but we're doing it anyway. And then we could just do... Oh, come on. There we go. Raise invalid factor. The scale factor must be greater than 0. So now if we run that and we give it, say, a scale factor of -1, then we'll get an error saying main.invalid factor, the scale factor must be greater than 0. So you can do your own error handling if you want, otherwise you will get a standard error from here, but I don't know, I just thought I'd get a bit fancy with it. But yeah, those are the basics really of scaling and rotating images. If you have any questions, then feel free to leave them in the comments, or you can join the Discord server using the link in the description below. But yeah, with that, I'd like to thank my super patron Darky and all of my other patrons being as awesome as they are. And I'll see you next time when we learn how to draw shapes and stuff onto images.